Very good morning. You're watching India Today with me, Nabila Jamal. In the backdrop of rising COVID-19 active cases crossing 2 lakh mark, Prime Minister Narendra Modi now is all set to interact with the chief ministers of various states at 12:30 p.m. to take stock of the COVID situation and ongoing vaccination drive. In fact, the meeting will be held virtually as per official sources. The Prime Minister will discuss issues that different states are facing currently in their fight against COVID-19. The last time the Prime Minister held an interaction with chief ministers was back in January before the commencement of the vaccination drive. Now, the country has been witnessing an uptick in daily COVID count, largely fueled by spike in 5 states, including that of Maharashtra, Kerala, Punjab, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu as well. In fact, these states alone account for nearly 90% of the active COVID cases in India. Now, Maharashtra continues to be the worst affected state from COVID-19. The state has now reported its year's highest single-day spike of coronavirus cases. Now, a staggered 17,864 new cases on Tuesday. This was the 5th consecutive day that Maharashtra reported in excess of 15,000 cases. The death toll in the state increased to 52,996 as the state recorded 87 new fatalities just yesterday. Mumbai, Pune and Nagpur reported more than 1,900 cases. Mumbai recorded 1,922 cases. Pune recorded 1,954 cases. Nagpur recorded 1,951 cases. Aurangabad recorded 860 cases. Yavatmal recorded 435 cases. Earlier, a central government report stated that Maharashtra particularly is witnessing a second COVID-19 wave and instructed the state government to implement strict containment strategies, strengthening surveillance and increasing testing to contain the rising cases. Now, as COVID-19 cases continue to rise across the country, parents and health experts are currently concerned about children getting affected by the COVID-19. Schools in several states have now reported COVID infections among students, leading to many asking the big question here. Are schools really safe from COVID-19?
As India witnesses a sudden surge in coronavirus cases, fresh worries are emerging. Parents and health experts are concerned about the rising number of COVID cases among school-going children. As many as 36 school students tested positive in Surat district of Gujarat in the last 24 hours. COVID cases have witnessed a big rise in Surat since February 1st, when educational institutions opened in the city.
1 લાખ કરતાં પણ વધારે ટેસ્ટિંગ આપણે સ્કૂલો અને કોલેજોની અંદર કરાવ્યું છે અને એની અંદર અત્યાર સુધીમાં આપણને 86 જેટલા કેસીસ પોઝિટિવ મળ્યા છે અને જે શાળામાં જે ક્લાસમાં પોઝિટિવ મળે એ ક્લાસને આપણે પ્રોફેશનલ કન્ટેનમેન્ટ એરિયા તરીકે ડિક્લેર કરીએ છીએ અને ત્યાંની બધી એક્ટિવિટીને આપણે રિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ કરીએ છીએ.
But this trend is not limited to Gujarat alone. A cluster of coronavirus cases was detected at a government school in the Mancherial district of Telangana. Those found to have contracted the virus included 13 teachers, a class 10th student and 2 cooks who prepared the midday meal at the school.
3-4 days back, oka teacher, bioscience teacher ki positive ochindi. సో తనని ఇంటికి పంపించేసాము. ఎందుకైనా మంచిది అనేసి మనం అందరం చేయించుకుంటే బాగుంటుందనే ఉద్దేశంతో డాక్టర్ వంశీ గారికి నేను కాల్ చేశాను, గవర్నమెంట్ డాక్టర్ గారికి. అందులో టీచర్లకి 12 మంది, వంట వాళ్ళు 2, తర్వాత ఒక అమ్మాయికి పాజిటివ్ తేలింది. ఇక డిఓ గారికి నేను ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చాను.
The COVID scare in Telangana comes 6 days after 57 students of a Vedic school in Tirupati district of Andhra Pradesh tested positive. In Haryana's Karnal, 54 students were infected soon after the school reopened. In Maharashtra's Palgad, 79 students, teachers and other staff got the virus. There were similar cases in Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. But are children more vulnerable to COVID-19?
Incidence of COVID infection in children has been found to be less, and the rate of hospitalization in children is also found less. This indicates that although children may get infection, the severity is less. And this could be possible because of early closure of the schools during lockdowns, and also because of insufficient testing done in children as compared to the adults.
Medical experts across the world too think that reopening schools will see a COVID spike.
Children do need their education, they do need that social interaction and social contact. But as we know, when schools reopen, then infection rates do rise in the population.
It's a catch-22 situation that state governments are faced with. Children have lost months of school time and need to get back to the classroom. At the same time, there is the risk of COVID spread. The solution is in schools ensuring the most COVID-safe conditions. With Ashish in Hyderabad and Gopi Manyar in Ahmedabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now time for our special COVID segment here, Good, Bad and Ugly. Let's take a listen.
Well, getting you the good news on COVID-19, the vaccination drive is steadily picking up pace in India. India has recorded more than 3.26 crore beneficiaries who have vaccinated themselves. Out of these, 1 crore beneficiaries are the ones who are aged above the 60 years and have taken their first dose of the vaccine. India has steadily been claiming more vaccinations, earlier starting with 2 million vaccinations a day, now has reached a record high of 3 million vaccinations in a single day. The pace of vaccination is very important to inoculate the priority population group of 45 plus and 60 plus years, along with frontline as well as healthcare workers, to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. The bad news on COVID-19 is that Maharashtra is now in the beginning of the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. In a letter written by the Union Health Secretary to the Chief Secretary of the state of Maharashtra, the government feels that Maharashtra needs to up its testing and tracing techniques to make sure that those who test positive from COVID-19 are isolated from those who still have not got the infection. Cases in Maharashtra at an all-time high, and the state has imposed night curfews as well as partial lockdowns in many districts such as Nagpur, Nashik, Akola, Yavatmal, Amravati and others. But the government feels that just night curfews and lockdowns will not be the effective strategy to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. More will need to be done in terms of testing, more will need to be done in terms of home isolations and looking at the number of rapid antigen tests also at crowded places such as markets, bus stops, railway stations, etc. to successfully isolate the people who test positive for COVID-19. Maharashtra is witnessing the largest surge and is contributing the most, along with states like Punjab and Kerala, to the spike in cases in India. Now, this is the ugly side to COVID-19 pandemic in India. There are cases that are being reported as reinfections, that too post-vaccination. While a Gujarat minister, Ishwar Singh Patel, has tested positive after taking the first shot of the vaccine, a doctor in Solan has tested positive for COVID-19 after the second shot of the vaccine. An MBBS student in Mumbai Sion Hospital has tested positive after taking a second shot of the Covishield vaccine. Now, these are cases that are coming up because the government feels that COVID-appropriate behavior and social distancing and wearing a mask is not being done by people. So once you take your first shot of the COVID vaccine, you have to follow social distancing and wear a mask. And only after 28 days, you will take the second shot of the vaccine. Experts say that even then, it takes at least a minimum of 10 days for the immune response to begin protecting the body from the coronavirus. That's why, despite getting a shot of the vaccine, one has to wear a mask and follow social distancing norms.
All right, I'm going to shift focus to the Ambani bomb scare case. We're looking at a sensational twist that's now come about, with the NIA sources telling India Today that the man who is actually walking right close to the residence of Ambani in a loose kurta is basically the cop Sachin Vaze. This is the sensational revelation made by the NIA. saying that this man who's been spotted outside Ambani's residence wearing a loose white kurta is basically, in fact, this kurta looks like a PPE kit, but here we're looking at the NIA suspecting that this man could be the suspended Mumbai cop Sachin Vaze himself. According to the NIA sources, the kurta was burnt by Vaze using fuel that was kept inside the black Mercedes car. The car it's now been recovered by the agency near the Mumbai Crime Branch office. The agency has now recovered incriminating evidence from the car, 5,75,000 rupees with petrol and diesel. This is what the NIA has found from inside the car, now giving this a big twist in this Ambani bomb scare case. I'm going to take you through all those details that the NIA has really observed and pulled up, only to suspect that Sachin Vaze, the cop itself, could be the man behind this entire conspiracy. Now, here we're looking at original number plate of the Scorpio that was found outside Antilia has now been recovered. We're looking at the NIA now, saying that several other number plates also has been found. They've also seized that black Mercedes car where they found 5,75,000 cash that they've recovered off that. And we're also looking at petrol and diesel that was found inside that car. So this is that mystery Mercedes car where we're looking at Sachin Vaze allegedly trying to hide a lot of the details that he could have been involved in this case. And many of these things that has been recovered from the car really points at him as the accused. Now, coming back to West Bengal, where election stage is only heating up, we're looking at ahead of the release of the TMC's manifesto here, Trinamool Congress now gets into trouble. The Election Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of free doorstep ration delivery announcement that was made by the Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee during a public meeting in Purulia. The poll body has now sought report on a scheme announcement to ascertain whether the promise violates the code of conduct, which is currently in place ahead of polls. Ahead of its release, India Today has now the inside scoop of the poll promises the TMC is currently eyeing to use to woo voters. While stress will be given on social sector, TMC is expected to make an announcement there to include 4 caste groups under the OBC category that were part of the list recommended by the Mandal Commission. In fact, one such group, Mahishyas, amount to a significant chunk of the population in Purba and Medinipur district that also includes Nandigram.
আজকে মানুষ বিনা পয়সায় খাদ্য পায় আর তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের সরকার থাকবে আর বিনা পয়সায় রেশন আপনারা পাবেন আগামী দিন রেশন আপনাদের বাড়িতে বাড়িতে পৌঁছে দেওয়ার ব্যবস্থা হবে দোকানে গিয়েও আনতে হবে না বাড়িতে বাড়িতে পৌঁছে দেওয়ার ব্যবস্থা হবে বিনা পয়সায় পাবেন।
And now we're looking at a full-blown political war that's erupted before the BJP's Rath Yatra that was allegedly attacked in Purulia district of Bengal. The BJP has now trained its guns against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, blaming the TMC for attacking and vandalizing the Yatra vehicle, which was dedicated to Baba Saheb Ambedkar. BJP Chief JP Nadda claimed the TMC has sensed its defeat in Bengal, and that's why it is it's currently resorting to such methods of violence. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar meanwhile accused the TMC of insulting Ambedkar and democracy by attacking the Rath vehicle in Purulia. He echoed Nadda, saying the TMC has realized its defeat and is now resorting to vandalism. BJP's Bengal co-in-charge hit out at Mamata Banerjee, asking what is Pishi so scared of. In fact, remember, the vandalism took place when the Rath Yatra was returning back to Purulia after turning 9 constituencies at that. In fact, it toured across of 9 constituencies there and finally returned to Purulia when this showdown took place.
कारदीप के यात्रा को टीएमसी के गुंडों ने वहां तोड़फोड़ की, वहां उसको रोकने का प्रयास किया। डॉक्टर अंबेडकर जी के बताए हुए रास्ते को एक तरीके से जिसको भारतीय जनता पार्टी आगे बढ़ा करके समाज में समरसता लाने का प्रयास कर रही थी, वह उन बातों को रोकने का प्रयास किया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी इसकी घोर निंदा करती है।
पश्चिम बंगाल में जो कुछ हो रहा है और हिंसा का जो तांडव हो रहा है, इसके लिए सीधे सीधे बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ममता बनर्जी जिम्मेवार है। क्योंकि उनके इशारे के बिना वहां पार्टी में और सरकार में कुछ नहीं होता। वो रोज नया बहाने बनाती है, लेकिन सच्चाई ये है कि उनके दिशा निर्देश पर ही उनकी पार्टी गुंडागर्दी पर उतर आई है।
All right, in the meanwhile, the internal trouble that's brewing in the BJP Bengal unit has now spilled into streets as the party cadre staged a protest against the ticket distribution to TMC turncoats. The party workers hit the streets in Kolkata and South 24 Parganas. Here's what really happened.
The BJP rank and file in Bengal are up in arms. The bone of contention, the distribution of tickets to Trinamool Congress turncoats who are joining the BJP almost on a daily basis. And now the anger is out on the roads. Hundreds of BJP workers and supporters hit the streets in Kolkata over ticket distribution. There were dramatic scenes in Kolkata when BJP supporters thrashed a leader with shoes and bricks. Police had to intervene. A lathi charge was needed to disperse the agitating workers. This is not all. BJP workers in South 24 Parganas have accused senior leaders Dilip Ghosh and Mukul Roy of selling tickets in exchange of money. They too staged protests outside the party's local office.
আমরা তোরাবাজ অর্ণব রায় যিনি 26 দিন হচ্ছে তৃণমূল থেকে বিজেপিতে এসেছে তার প্রার্থী পদ আমরা বদল চাইছি ক্যানিং পশ্চিম বিধানসভা কেন্দ্রে এটা কেন্দ্রীয় নেতৃত্বের কাছে আমরা জানাতে চাই আমাদের কোনো সাধারণ বিজেপি কর্মী দীর্ঘদিনের পুরনো কার্যকর্তাকে প্রার্থী করা হোক এই দাবিতে আমরা আন্দোলন চালিয়ে যাব
BJP National President JP Nadda, now on the campaign trail, however, plays down the protest.
प्रजातंत्र पार्टी है, सब लोग डिसिप्लिन में करना और काम करना जानते हैं। सब मिलकर के ममता जी को चुनाव में शिकस्त देंगे और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जीत दिलाएंगे। परिवार है, सब लोगों को संभालना हमारा काम है, हम संभालेंगे।
An emergency meeting of sorts happened in Kolkata where Ms. Amit Shah was present, the Home Minister was present, the BJP President JP Nadda, who's campaigning in Bengal today, was present, and the senior leadership of the party of the Bengal unit were present as well in order to try and manage this situation, diffuse this situation.
The internal revolt over ticket distribution in the BJP comes even as the party has deployed all its might to unseat the Mamata Banerjee government. It has cast a shadow on the BJP's efforts to conquer what many believe is its final frontier. With Prema Rajaram, Polami Saha and Surya Agni Roy, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now coming to Delhi, it seems like the AAP government and the centre's fight over a contentious bill seeking to give more powers to the Delhi Lieutenant Governor is all set to escalate as Delhi ministers and AAP MPs, MLAs, councillors will all stage a protest at Jantar Mantar to protest against the centre's bill that gives overarching powers to the Lieutenant Governor. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is likely to lead the protest as the Aam Aadmi Party plans to strongly condemn the centre's move. The party has now termed this bill introduced by the central government in the Lok Sabha as unconstitutional. Chief Minister Kejriwal also accused the BJP of drastically curtailing powers of the elected government through this bill.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.